Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Funnies Review. I'm Desmond Gillick and you're watching the Sunday Funnies Review. It's the week of Sunday, June 21st, 2020, and it also is Father's Day. Now let's get into the Peanuts rerun. This Peanuts rerun is very similar to one we had a couple weeks ago, where it's Snoopy having an existential crisis. This is it's all existential crisis up until here, where they do the punchline at the end so that the kids at home can laugh, because kids aren't reading all this existential stuff. But if you're an adult or someone that cares to read, so this is a sad story, because Snoopy doesn't know where his parents are and he hates Charlie Brown with all of his heart and soul today. And thus, it gets a 6.5 out of 10 for just doing a standard punchline, but it gets the existential award of the week for making me question how all dogs feel about being taken away from their families. Speaking of families, it's the zits of the week. Timeless classic, really. You got Mom, what's for dinner on the text message. So then she starts replying, but oh wait, he's already come out. He's already checked that it's spaghetti. He's already ate the spaghetti. He's already walked away from the spaghetti. And then she says, spaghetti. It's just a standard joke. It's the zits. It should have been better, but it's just a 6.5 out of 10 for this week. Up next is the Foxtrot, and the punchline is just molding. Look at that. Look at that 5 head that they've made for themselves this week. I didn't laugh at this, but it tried, so it's a 6.5 out of 10. Up next is the better for worse. One moment, I gotta fix this crease in the page. Man. How'd your Father's Day go, huh? You give your old man a pat on the back today? Up next is the better for worse. And this one starts the trend of fathers sleeping in and then getting woken up by their families 40 minutes before they arrive. You'll come to find this out later on, but being the first one, it's technically the best one, so it's a 7 out of 10. Up next is the Garfield of the week, and it's just, I relate to it, because Garfield's getting old, so he wakes up funny, and he clinks around with his bones, and he passes out once he wakes up, because he doesn't have enough air circulating around in his room, so all the air is hot. And then he stands up, and then he stretches his back, and then he falls forward, and he knocks over the lamp, and then he crawls back into his bed before he realizes that he knocked over the lamp. Yeah, that happened to anyone else? Because that happens to me on a regular basis. 7 out of 10. One moment. I still haven't got my Netflix password, for those wondering. And so I'm just waiting. I've been watching Batman Beyond on DVD, but I finished it, so I'm just rewatching it. There's an episode on there, Golem. It's my favorite episode. That and Meltdown, but only because that has Meltdown in it, you know? Up next is the BC of the week. It's a zombie apocalypse joke, but because it's the BC of the week, there's only like 8 people on the island, so he's kind of crazy. Simple punchline. It's like a solid, I don't know, 6.4 out of 10. Didn't make me laugh. The punchline is simple enough, but it missed just ever so slightly, and thus misses 0.1 on the score. Up next to the Hagar the Horrible. This week it's Hagar the Wholesome. I quite like it. It's not a Father's Day one, but it's a bit of a wholesome marriage one, and so I'll give it a 6.8 out of 10 this week. Up next is the Wizard of Id this week. And, you know, out of all my years of reading the Sunday Funnies, I've never seen Wizard of Id make me slightly laugh. So I'm quite impressed by this week. It's a 7 out of 10, but I did laugh at the fact that Id, or rather, the Wizard of Id, was in the toilet. I laughed at that. I didn't know where this was going until he was like, "Is this your card?" Very good. I'd also like to think that he was dreaming and he woke up with that card in mind, and so he went into the bathroom just to check if he knew. It's kind of good, 7 out of 10. Up next is the Mother Goose and Grimm of the week. It's like a joke in SpongeBob when they go to the mailman and he's in the mailbox. I've seen it done before better. 6 out of 10. Up next is the Doonesbury of the week. 2 out of 10. Up next is the Family Circus of the week. Remember when I said the whatchamacallit was the first of many? What am I thinking here? The Better for Worse of the week was the first of many? Yeah. Well, here's the second of many. But I like it because it's the Family Circus, and so it wins the Wholesome Award of the week and a 7.5 out of 10 of the week. It's the shoe of the week. George Costanza is back in a triumphant return of not using his car all that much. And so it's like a, I don't know, 6.5 out of 10. Mainly because 4 weeks a gallon is pretty good. Up next, it's the Blondie of the week. I quite like it. It's a bit wordy, but I quite like it. It's a 6.5 out of 10. It's just, standard, Bumstead, I'm sorry that I yelled at you earlier. And then it's like, but why would I want to ruin a perfectly good motivational rant? Very nice. I like it. 6.5 out of 10. Maybe even 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10 seems about right for this week's Blondie. One moment, another crease. Yeah, I started watching my Scooby-Doo movies and episodes on DVD. I lost interest kind of soon, but they did fool me on one episode, and I'll give them that. Up next is the Dilbert, and they're all wearing masks, which is the only change to this regular joke that would have been made like 5 weeks ago. And so I love the Dilbert for that, just casually integrating the masks and all. The joke is pretty solid too, 7 out of 10. Up next is the Marvin of the week, and you know what? It's not a bad one this week. It's a solid 6.5 out of 10. Mainly because Marvin's a bit wholesome this week. Even though he does spin it to his narcissistic side, it's not terrible. I like it. 6.5 out of 10. One moment for, the final flip, as it were. Did you get your father a man grate for this Father's Day? Only some of you know. Only some of you know. And if you know, you know. Anyway, up next is the baby blues of the week. Kind of following in the trend of fathers getting woken up early. But it's just the thing of the children messing up the breakfast, which has been the theme in all of them previously. And so, it's just same old, 6.5 out of 10, but it loses 0.5 for unoriginality, 6 out of 10. But this one's good. This is a 7 out of 10 right here, because it's the high and lowest, and it's got the dad with quality couch time while they leave the house. It's good. It's a good one. 7 out of 10. Up next is the Sally Forth of the week. And it's so long, and the punchline is just that he makes up a bunch of rules for Monopoly. So it's like interdimensional dice and fourth time-skipping coin tokens, and I don't like it. It's a bit too wordy, all for a simple punchline of, I'm a troubled man, our troubled man. There's also a rule book, but we had to make a PDF for that, because the PDF would be like 85 pages long, yada yada. It's a weird combination of like 5 jokes in one, and so it's a 6.5 out of 10. It tried too hard and it shot itself in the knee. It's the close to home of the week, and I like it. It's simple. It's got an all right joke to it, and so it's just a 7 out of 10 this week, and it's the Born Loser of the week. The Born Loser this week is a fairly simple Born Loser. Father's Day, Born Loser. I'm making weenies. I burnt them terribly. Born Loser. 6.5 out of 10. And so, this week in the Sunday Funnies, I think my favorite I don't know what my favorite this week would be. Let me take one last cursory look. The Dilbert was pretty funny. I guess I'll give it to the Dilbert. Give the Dilbert a retroactive 7.5 out of 10. The Funny Award of the Week goes to the Dilbert. The Wholesome Award of the Week goes to the Family Circus. All in all, pretty good week in the Sunday Funnies. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, a couple other things. I'm just going to be quiet for the next 30 seconds or so. It's kind of hard to do, be quiet and all. Maybe I'll go start preparing my Xbox. I'm gonna watch Hulu after this because I ran out of Batman Beyond to watch. Anyway, thank you for watching this week.